My child, my beloved, I am calling you now because time is running out. A voice from heaven has broken through the silence tonight. It is your mother. Her spirit is standing right beside you as you read this. Archangel Michael says, do not ignore this call. For once the moment passes, it may never return again. The heavens are trembling and your name is echoing in the chambers of light. She is whispering a final truth into your ears. A truth that was hidden while she was alive. A truth she couldn't share before her soul crossed over. This is your last chance. Open your heart now. Stay with me until the very last word for the miracle is waiting at the end. And hear this clearly. If this word touches your soul, make sure you subscribe now so you never miss another divine message again, because what you are about to hear could change everything. The angels are watching. The heavens are recording your choice. Will you listen, or will you close this and walk away from the voice that is begging you not to ignore it? My child, my beloved, the heavens are heavy tonight with a message that cannot wait. The veil between this world and the eternal has opened. And from that place where time does not exist, your mother's voice has broken through. She is not gone as you once thought. She stands closer than the breath inside your chest, closer than the beat within your heart. She has pleaded with God to let her speak to you one last time. And Archangel Michael himself has carried her words through the fire of heaven to place them here in front of your eyes. This is not an accident. This is not random. You are guided here because the divine knows that if you do not open this message now, a moment will be lost forever. A moment that was written for your destiny before you were even born. There are truths that remain hidden while a soul is bound in the flesh. Secrets unsaid, emotions unspoken, words left hanging between the living and the dying. Your mother carried these truths with her as she crossed into eternity. And now she trembles in light because her love for you is greater than the silence of death. She could not rest until you knew this final truth. She could not walk deeper into the gardens of heaven until she had whispered into your heart the words she never spoke on earth. And that is why she has begged Archangel Michael to deliver this to you tonight urgently before the sands of the hourglass empty and her voice fades again into the eternal silence. Listen carefully, for she does not speak of small things. She speaks of the path you are walking, of the dangers that surround you, of the hands that pretend to love you but carry a hidden knife. She speaks of the miracle that has been written with your name upon it. A miracle that is so close you can almost touch it, yet so fragile that the wrong choice could shatter it completely. She speaks of her prayers. Every tear she cried for you when she was alive. Every sleepless night she covered you with whispers no one else could hear. She speaks of how those prayers did not die with her but rose like incense into the throne room of heaven, where even now they burn before the altar of God, crying out for your protection and your blessing. Do not take these words lightly. Heaven is not casual and God does not waste his voice. The fact that you are here, the fact that you are hearing this now, means that eternity itself has leaned down to intervene in your life. Something is unfolding, something powerful, something irreversible. You are being warned, but you are also being prepared. Your mother's love has opened a door through which God himself is about to step. But you must be awake. You must be alert. You must not dismiss this as chance or coincidence. For if you turn away not only from her final message, but from the very hand of God stretched out toward you. Archangel Michael says, this is the final warning before the turning of the page. You are standing at the threshold of a new chapter, one that will either raise you into the miracle prepared for you or leave you in the shadow of regret. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear, you are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why a simple system has been placed in front of you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system, a path where each day brings you a focused prayer, a small financial action, and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation, take that first step today. This could be the moment everything begins to change for you. You will find the link in the description and in the comments below. Take that step while this moment is still in your hands. Do not ignore what has been placed in front of you this time. And if you choose to move forward now, heaven will begin to align things in your favor. And in this moment, your mother's words are the compass in your hand. She is telling you to stay strong. She is telling you to watch the signs. She is telling you to trust the whispers in your spirit that others laugh at or ignore. She is telling you to believe the impossible because heaven is already moving on your behalf. And my child, if this message touches even the smallest part of your soul, do not hesitate. Make sure you subscribe right now. For these are not the last words heaven will send to you. There are more messages, more truths, more warnings, and more miracles waiting to be revealed. But if you miss them, if you allow the noise of the world to drown out the call of the divine, then you risk walking blind while the path of light was open before you. Subscribe not just as a click, but as a commitment to stay connected to the flow of divine revelation that is pouring toward you in this season of your life. Your mother's voice trembles in light as she speaks your name. She says that she has watched you in the silent hours when you thought no one saw your tears, when you thought your pain was hidden behind a brave face. She says that even in heaven she could not turn her eyes away from you because the love of a mother is eternal and does not break even when the body is lowered into the earth. She says you must know this. Every struggle you have faced has been woven into a larger design, and none of it has been wasted. The nights you questioned God, the days you carried burdens too heavy for your shoulders, the betrayals that cut deeper than knives, all of it was seen, all of it was counted, and all of it is being redeemed even now. She says, the moment is near where the pain you endured will be answered with a miracle so radiant that even your enemies will fall silent in awe. And Archangel Michael, standing with a flaming sword of light, confirms this message. He declares that the battle surrounding you is fiercer than you realize. That forces of darkness have tried to weave traps around your destiny, but they have failed because your name is written in the fire of God. Michael says he has been dispatched to guard you, to stand at the door of your house, to surround your steps with angelic armies. He says that the enemy has been whispering lies into the ears of those around you, stirring jealousy, sowing suspicion, turning hearts against you. But he reminds you what God has sealed, no enemy can break. Your miracle is not in the hands of men. It is not in the whispers of those who plot against you. It is not in the shadows of envy. It rests in the throne room of heaven where your mother's prayers still echo like thunder. And heaven has already decided. You are chosen. You are covered. You are being lifted even now into a new season that cannot be stopped. But you must remain awake, beloved. For your mother says the danger is not only in the obvious enemies. The greater danger lies in the quiet compromise, the small distractions, the voices that seem harmless but are designed to pull you just one step away from the path of light. She warns you to listen closely to your spirit because God is speaking to you through signs you have ignored. The repeated numbers, the sudden dreams, the inner nudges that told you not to trust certain faces, all of these are divine messages. She says, you must not dismiss them anymore. If you honor these whispers, they will protect you from heartbreak, from deception, and from loss. If you ignore them, you may walk blindly into a trap that was never meant for you. This is why she has come. Why heaven opened the veil tonight to keep you safe, to awaken you before it is too late. And as you hear this, feel how the atmosphere around you shifts. For heaven is not far away. It has come close to you right now. The angels are leaning near. The Spirit of God is flowing through these very words. Your heart is beating differently because your soul recognizes truth. Do not be surprised if you feel chills, if your eyes fill with tears, if you sense a weight lifting from your chest even now. That is the evidence that heaven is touching you, confirming that these are not empty words but the living voice of the Eternal. God says, my child, I have heard your cries. I have seen your pain and I am not late. I am moving now. My beloved, you cannot stop here. Do not rush away. Do not treat this casually. For the next moments carry the key to your breakthrough. If you close this message too soon, you may miss the very instruction that will unlock your miracle. Stay until the end. Stay because your mother has more to reveal. Stay because Archangel Michael has not yet finished his warning. Stay because the hand of God is stretching toward you. And if you reach back in faith, everything in your life can change in an instant. And I remind you once again, if this message is stirring your spirit, do not forget to subscribe now, for the words of heaven are unfolding piece by piece, and the next revelation will come soon. If you disconnect, you may miss the very sign you have been praying for. Subscription here is not just about a channel. It is about keeping your heart tied to the river of divine truth that is flowing. Do it now and let heaven see your readiness. Your mother says that the time of wandering in confusion is over. She has watched you doubt yourself, questioning if you are truly loved, if you are truly chosen, if God really hears your prayers. She wants you to know with absolute certainty. You have never been forgotten. Every prayer you whispered in the darkness, every cry that escaped your lips when no one else was listening was heard by the one who created the stars. And she herself carried those prayers upward like a holy offering, and they are still alive before the throne of God. She wants you to stop doubting your worth because heaven has already declared it. You are worth more than gold, more than kingdoms, more than the world itself. And this is why the battle around you has been so intense, because the enemy knows that if you awaken fully to who you are, nothing will be able to stop the destiny written over your life. Archangel Michael speaks now with authority. He says there are people around you who are secretly afraid of your rising, and that is why they have tried to delay you. Some have smiled at you while hiding envy in their hearts. Some have spoken softly but twisted their words against you when you were not present. Some even pretended to protect you while quietly planting doubts in your path. Michael says their schemes will collapse, for heaven has drawn a line around you. He says that in the coming days masks will fall and you will see clearly who is for you and who is against you. But you must not fear this revelation, because the truth will not harm you. It will free you. God says, I would rather you walk alone in light than surrounded by shadows who pretend to be friends. Prepare your heart, because clarity is coming, and with it your freedom. Your mother leans closer in spirit, her words filled with tenderness. She says, you carry a strength you do not even recognize. She remembers when you were small, when she held your hand and prayed silently that you would one day grow into a person who could endure storms. She says those prayers are the reason you are still standing, the reason you have survived what should have destroyed you. Do not underestimate yourself anymore. Do not measure your future by the failures of your past. The person you once were is gone. The person you are becoming is greater than anything even she imagined. She says she is proud of you, more proud than words can describe. And she says that pride is not hers alone. It is God's pride over his child, a beloved soul who did not give up even when the weight of the world pressed down. And now the Spirit of God speaks directly, clear and undeniable. My child, you are entering a season of divine reversal. What was meant to harm you will turn to your good. What was stolen from you will be returned sevenfold. What doors were slammed in your face will reopen, not by the hand of man, but by my command. The tears you cried in private will become the testimony you share in the open. The very people who laughed at your pain will witness your restoration. And they will know it was not luck, not coincidence, not chance. It was my hand upon you. Do not fear the delay, for delay is not denial. Do not fear the silence, for silence is the womb where miracles are formed. Even now behind the scenes, I am working, arranging, aligning. You are closer than you think. You are nearer to breakthrough than your eyes can see. Your mother interrupts softly, almost as if she is whispering into your ear, be careful, my child. She warns that not everyone who suddenly shows interest in you is sent from God. Some are drawn to the light in you, not because they honor it, but because they wish to drain it. She says that in this next season, discernment will be your greatest weapon. Pray before you trust. Listen before you leap. Watch how people act when you are in need. That will reveal their true hearts. She says she wishes she could still shield you with her arms. But now she shields you with her prayers. And those prayers are not weak. They are like fire wrapping around you even when you sleep. Archangel Michael raises his voice again. Do not be afraid of the shadows that rise against you. He says the warfare intensifies right before the victory is delivered. That is why things may have felt heavier lately. Why you have faced sudden setbacks. Why unexpected storms seem to appear out of nowhere. It is because the enemy senses that your breakthrough is near and it is his last attempt to push you back. But Michael assures you the battle is already won. Stand firm. Do not give in to despair. Do not let weariness convince you to surrender. For the dawn is breaking and the light will reveal that you were protected all along. And now the Lord himself declares, I am about to open a door that no man can shut. He says, you will recognize it because it will not come through striving, not through manipulation, not through begging others for recognition. It will come suddenly, smoothly, undeniably. It will carry peace with it. It will feel like the missing piece you have been searching for. And when it comes, you will know this is what all the waiting was for. This is what all the pain prepared me for. This is the blessing my mother's prayers paved the way for. God says, do not doubt when it arrives. Walk through boldly. It is yours. Your mother's voice carries a deep ache as she continues, almost trembling with urgency. She says she has seen the battles you fight in silence. The way you smile while your heart is heavy, the way you give strength to others when inside you feel like collapsing. She says she wants you to know that none of this has been in vain. She pleads with you not to believe the lie that your kindness has been wasted, that your love has gone unnoticed. Heaven has been watching. Every act of patience, every time you forgave when you could have held bitterness, every sacrifice you made when no one clapped for you, these things are treasures stored in eternity. They are not forgotten and God has written them in the book of remembrance. Soon, very soon, you will see the harvest of all that silent sowing. And when it comes, you will realize that not a single tear was wasted. Archangel Michael steps forward again, and his words are like fire burning through the shadows. He declares that the enemy has been trying to plant exhaustion in your spirit, whispering that it is easier to give up than to keep believing. But Michael says that this is the most dangerous lie because the enemy knows that you are standing on the edge of your breakthrough. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying, the quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for peace, and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why a simple path has been placed before you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated, just small faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the comments below, take that step now. Do not ignore what has been placed in front of you this time. And if you choose to move forward now, something will begin to shift in ways you cannot yet see. He knows that if you keep standing, keep believing, keep moving forward even with trembling steps, you will step into what God has already prepared. Michael says, do not quit now. Do not step back. Do not let the enemy steal from you what heaven has already written with your name. He raises his sword and announces that the opposition surrounding you is collapsing even now. That forces you cannot see are being scattered. That your protection is greater than the storm against you. And then, beloved child, your mother's voice softens. She speaks like she once did when she sat beside your bed. When she comforted you after nightmares, when her hands brushed tears from your face. She says, do you remember how I always told you to trust even when you were afraid? I am telling you the same now. Trust. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that God has not forgotten you. She says that even in her final moments on earth, her heart was praying for you that your life would not be marked by defeat but by victory, that you would not live in fear but in the boldness of knowing who you are. And she says that prayer has not died. It is alive and it surrounds you even now like a shield of light. The Spirit of God interrupts with words that thunder in your soul. I am not finished with you. He says the story others wrote about you is incomplete. The judgments they made about you, the words they spoke, the labels they tried to attach, these are not your final chapter. God Himself is rewriting your story, and the ending is far more glorious than the pain you have endured. He says, I will turn your scars into testimonies. I will turn your delays into divine timing. I will turn your loneliness into a stage where my love will shine brighter than ever before. He says, you will not die in despair. You will not drown in defeat. You will rise. And in your rising, many others will rise, too. For your life is not only about you. It is a beacon, a light that will guide others out of their own darkness. Your mother whispers again, urging you not to fear the changes that are coming. She says, you have clung tightly to what you know, but some of what you hold is actually holding you back. She says, when God begins to remove certain people, certain habits, certain environments, you must not resist. For these shifts are not loss, they are divine release. You are being freed from what no longer serves your destiny. She says you must trust that what leaves was never meant to stay and what remains will carry you into your future. She says do not mourn over doors that close, for new ones are already opening before you. And Archangel Michael confirms this. He declares that in the spiritual realm, contracts are being broken, curses, generational chains, hidden vows spoken over your life are being shattered by the authority of heaven. He says you may feel heaviness lifting, strange dreams breaking, sudden peace entering places where you once only felt chaos. That is the evidence that God is breaking cycles, ending patterns, cutting off what was never meant to control you. Michael says, you are stepping into a season where freedom will become your reality, where the same battles that tormented your family line will not touch you anymore. He says, you are the breaker. You are the one chosen to end what destroyed those before you. You are the one through whom the lineage shifts. This is why the pressure has been so great. But this is also why the victory will be so powerful. And beloved, if this message is speaking to you, if something inside you knows these words are not random, I remind you again, subscribe now so you remain connected to the flow of revelation heaven is sending. This is not just about listening once. It is about walking with the messages that are unfolding day by day. What you hear today is only the beginning. More is coming. Stronger warnings, deeper truths, greater promises. Do not miss them. Stay connected and let heaven see your faithfulness. Your mother's spirit grows firmer now, as if she cannot hold back what she must reveal. She says, there are hidden things around you that you have not yet seen. Conversations spoken behind closed doors, decisions made without your knowledge, subtle betrayals that your heart sensed but your mind dismissed. She says, heaven is about to expose these things. Not to break you, but to free you. She says that for too long shadows have lingered close, disguised as kindness, disguised as love, disguised as loyalty. But the light of God is burning away those disguises. And soon every mask will fall. She pleads with you not to cling to those who are revealed. For once the truth comes, you must not try to hold what God Himself has uncovered. She says, my child, when God exposes, it is not cruelty, it is mercy, for how else would you be free? And Archangel Michael, standing tall with his sword of flame, confirms this vision. He says he has fought battles in realms unseen to shield you from traps laid by jealous hearts. He says the enemy tried to weave nets of lies around your destiny, hoping you would entangle yourself in them, but Michael cut them down. He says that every attempt to curse you, to bind you, to limit you has already failed. He says you are covered in fire and no darkness can withstand it. And he warns you that when the exposure happens, you must remember this. Your safety was never in their loyalty. Your safety was always in God's hand. Then your mother's tone softens again like a lullaby carried from eternity. She says she knows how deeply you long for stability, for love that does not waver, for companionship that will not betray. She says she carried that same longing when she was alive. And she prayed that God would protect your heart from counterfeit connections. She says those prayers are being answered now. She assures you that the loneliness you sometimes feel is not abandonment. It is divine protection. God is keeping you set apart. Not because you are forgotten, but because you are chosen. And when the time is right, the people who truly carry light, who truly honor your soul, will be placed in your path by God Himself. She says, wait, do not rush. What heaven has prepared for you is greater than what you have been willing to settle for. The Spirit of God thunders through these words, shaking the atmosphere around you. My child, I am preparing to surprise you. He says, the blessing will not come the way you expect. It will arrive suddenly in an unexpected place through an unexpected channel. He says you will look back and realize that the delays, the detours, the disappointments were all stepping stones leading to this exact moment. He says, trust me when I say I have not forgotten the details. I know your needs more deeply than you can express. And I will answer not with barely enough, but with overflow. He declares that your story will shift so quickly that those who once pitied you will not understand how you rose so fast. And you will not rise by your own strength, but by His hand. Your mother whispers again, urging you to remain sensitive to the signs. She says that God has already been speaking to you in small ways, through repeated numbers, through dreams, through the sudden stirring of your spirit when you encounter certain people. She says not to dismiss these signs as coincidence, for they are markers on the path you are walking. She says, when you see them, pause and listen because in that moment, God is trying to catch your attention. She pleads with you not to move blindly, but to walk with awareness because the enemy has tried to confuse you with distractions. Yet she assures you, if you lean into the whispers, you will never be misled. She says, I could not guide you fully when I was on earth, but now I am closer than ever before, and my prayers are woven into the very guidance God sends you. Archangel Michael raises his voice once more, declaring with authority that the financial chains around you are breaking. He says that the lack you have endured, the scarcity you have battled, the cycles of rising and falling are coming to an end. He says that heaven has released provision and it is on its way. He says do not fear the numbers in your account for the numbers of heaven are greater. What you see is temporary. What I release is eternal. He warns you not to be deceived by opportunities that seem too quick, too flashy, too tempting. For not every open door is a door from God. But He promises you will know the right door because it will bring peace, not pressure, clarity, not confusion. And He says when you walk through it, you will find not only provision for yourself, but overflow for those connected to you. And beloved child, your mother smiles now through tears. She says, the miracle coming is not only for you, but also for the generations that will come after you. She says, the choices you make now will echo far into the future. She says, the chains that broke from your life will never touch your children, your grandchildren, those who follow after you. She says, you are the turning point, the one who shifts the story of the family. She says, do not underestimate what your obedience is unlocking. For the choices you make in faith today will build a legacy of light tomorrow. And the Spirit of God concludes this portion with a promise that cannot be shaken. I will do it quickly. I will do it suddenly. I will do it in a way that no one can deny that it was my hand. He says you will stand in awe. Your enemies will be silenced. Your friends will rejoice. And your soul will know peace like never before. He says, stay with me. Trust me. Do not turn back. And in that moment, you realize this message was not just words. It was a covenant being spoken over your life. Your mother's words come now with a kind of trembling urgency, as if she knows that the moment for you to decide is drawing close. She says she has seen the weariness in your soul. The way you sometimes question if it is worth continuing, if hope is still alive, if miracles are still possible for you. She pleads with you not to surrender to despair. She says she remembers your strength when you were young, the fire in your eyes, the innocence that believed anything was possible. She wants you to know that heaven has not forgotten that spark. It still burns within you. Though the storms of life have tried to smother it, she says, my child, do not bury your hope. Do not bury your dreams. For what God planted in you cannot be killed. It has only been waiting for its season, and the season is now approaching. Archangel Michael speaks with authority, his voice carrying like a trumpet over a battlefield. He says the opposition you are facing is not a sign that God has abandoned you. It is a sign that you are close to breakthrough. He declares that the increase in resistance is proof that the enemy is desperate, for he knows his grip is slipping. Michael reminds you that you are not weak. You are not helpless, and you are not alone. He says, I have been sent to fight for you, to shield you, to clear the path ahead. Do not fear the rising storm, for the storm will break before you do. He says the heaviness you have been feeling is not defeat. It is the pressure of birth. Something new is being born in your life. And just as labor pains come before delivery, so too does this intensity come before the miracle. Your mother leans closer, her words filled with both love and warning. She says that in the days to come, you must guard your heart carefully. She says there will be voices that try to discourage you, people who laugh at your faith, who tell you that you are wasting your time believing in what you cannot see. She says you must not let their doubt poison your spirit. For she says, God is not asking you to explain yourself to them. He is asking you to trust Him. She says, remember my beloved, Noah looked like a fool until the rain came. Joseph looked forgotten until the palace door opened. David looked weak until the giant fell. And so too will you appear small in the eyes of men until the moment God reveals the greatness He has been preparing in you. And then the voice of the Lord Himself breaks through with power. I am not a man that I should lie. What I have spoken I will fulfill. He says He has already written the dates and times of your deliverance. He says that nothing and no one can delay what is appointed for you. He declares the season of hiddenness is ending and the season of manifestation is beginning. He promises that what you prayed for in tears will soon appear before your eyes in joy. He says, I am about to prove myself faithful. Watch, for I will make even your enemies witnesses to what I do for you. Your mother smiles softly now through tears of joy. She says she wishes she could hold you the way she once did, but she wants you to know that her prayers are holding you even more powerfully than her arms ever could. She says she has asked God to surround you with favor, to cover you with mercy, to guide your steps so carefully that you cannot miss what He has prepared. She says she sees angels walking beside you, carrying the answers to prayers you thought were forgotten. She says, do not give up now. The answers are nearer than you think. And when they come, you will know that I never stopped loving you. Never stopped praying for you, and never stopped believing in the greatness God placed inside you. Archangel Michael raises his sword and announces that generational curses are breaking. He says the struggles that haunted your family, the cycles of disappointment, the repeated patterns of loss will not touch you anymore. He says you are the chosen one to break the chain, to rewrite the story, to stand where others fell. He says you are the interruption in your bloodline. You are the one heaven chose to end the curse and begin the blessing. And he warns that because of this the resistance has been greater. But he promises the victory will be greater too. He says that soon you will see doors opening that no one in your family ever walked through. You will walk into blessings that others only dreamed of. And your children and their children will inherit light instead of darkness because of your faith. The Spirit of God speaks again, this time with a gentleness that feels like the embrace of eternity. He says, I am healing you not only in your body, but in your mind, your heart, your memories. He says He is reaching into the deep places. You do not talk about the wounds you carry silently, the disappointments you buried because they were too painful to face. He says, I am touching those places now. I am restoring what was broken. I am giving you peace where there was torment, joy where there was sorrow, strength where there was weakness. He says, this healing will not be temporary. It will be lasting. It will be complete, and it will prepare you for the new season that is coming. And beloved, your mother adds her final words for this moment. She says she is proud of you. Proud not because of your perfection but because of your endurance. She says she has watched you fall and rise again. Break and mend again. Cry and still believe again. She says that is the proof of your strength. That is why heaven has not let go of you. That is why Archangel Michael himself is standing guard. Because you are not just surviving, you are being shaped for greatness. She urges you to keep walking, to keep believing, to keep opening your heart to the voice of God. Because the best is not behind you, it is ahead. Your mother's presence grows stronger now, her voice almost pressing against the walls of your heart. She says she must reveal something you have overlooked, something you thought was coincidence, but was actually the hand of God guiding you. She says there were times when danger was near, when choices you almost made would have destroyed you, but suddenly things shifted, doors closed, or people withdrew. She says those moments were not rejection, they were protection. Heaven intervened to keep you safe. She says, do not mourn what did not work out. Do not cry over the things you lost. What you thought was the end was actually the rescue. And one day you will thank God for every door that closed because each one was saving you from a trap you could not see. Archangel Michael speaks next. And his words are filled with fire. He declares that you are stepping into a time where the lies spoken about you will be silenced. He says people may have misunderstood you, twisted your words, painted you in a light that was never true. He says those false pictures have tried to linger over your reputation, but heaven is lifting them off now. Michael says the truth will rise. Your name will be restored and those who once mocked you will be forced to acknowledge the light in you. He warns that vindication is near but it will not come by your own defending. It will come by the hand of God himself. And when it comes it will be undeniable. Your mother whispers through tears remembering the times you longed for her approval and guidance. She says she may not have spoken enough words when she was alive, but she wants you to know that she always believed in you. She says she saw greatness in you when others overlooked it. She says she carried that faith into eternity and now she pleads with you to carry it for yourself. She says, stop doubting who you are. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop believing you are behind. For in God's timing, you are exactly where you are meant to be. She tells you that the delay has been preparation. And when the right moment comes, you will be launched so quickly, it will feel like years of waiting vanished overnight. The Spirit of God interjects with words that are both firm and gentle. I am aligning everything for your good. He says, you may not see it yet, but connections are being arranged, opportunities are being shaped, doors are being prepared. He says, trust me with the unseen. Trust me with the silence. For I am working while you rest, moving while you wait, building while you wonder. He promises that the outcome will astonish you, that what you receive will be far greater than what you expected. And he says that in that moment you will understand why the wait was so long because the blessing required perfect timing, not rushed timing. Your mother smiles again, this time with peace. She says she sees the angels assigned to you, warriors of light who walk unseen but never leave your side. She says you may feel alone but you are surrounded. She says, when you wake with fear in the night, it is those angels who stand guard. When you walk into uncertain places, it is those angels who shield your steps. She says, do not fear the path ahead. You are not walking it alone. You are covered, surrounded, guarded by heaven itself. Archangel Michael lifts his sword once more and declares that a new season is dawning for you. He says the struggles you faced in the last season were training, shaping, refining. He says you are stronger than you realize, wiser than you know, more prepared than you feel. And soon you will see why the fire was necessary because gold shines brighter after the flames. He promises you will step into opportunities where your past battles will become testimonies that inspire others. He says what once shamed you will soon be the story that proves God's glory in your life. The Spirit of God speaks with power. Now I am doing a new thing and you shall see it. He says your life will not repeat the failures of the past. He declares that the cycles of disappointment are breaking. The chains of fear are shattering. The patterns of loss are ending. He says you are not cursed. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are beloved. And what is written over your life cannot be erased. His words flow like rivers of fire. And you can feel them etching themselves into your soul. Your mother adds one more truth, urging you not to lose heart when people walk away. She says you have been hurt by abandonment, but what you called abandonment was actually pruning. God was removing what would have hindered your growth. She says, do not run after those who left. Do not beg for doors to reopen. For what God removes, He replaces with better. And soon you will see why it was necessary. She says she knows it hurts, but the pain is temporary and the blessing will last forever. And finally, the Lord declares, I am near to you, closer than your breath, closer than your heartbeat. Trust me now, for this is your hour of rising. Your mother's presence feels closer now, almost as if her spirit is sitting in the room with you. She says that in heaven, she has been shown glimpses of your future, moments you cannot see yet, but moments that are already written. She says she has seen you smiling in places where you once cried, standing in strength where you once collapsed, walking in abundance where you once struggled. She says she has seen the people who once doubted you stand in silence as God's favor shines on you. She says, my child, the pain you carry is not the end of your story. It is the soil where your testimony is growing. Soon, what hurt you will be the very thing that proves God's love for you. She pleads with you to hold on just a little longer, to endure just a little further because the shift is closer than your eyes can see. Archangel Michael steps forward again and his words cut through the air like lightning. He declares that every attack sent against you in secret has been overturned. He says there were people who smiled at you while speaking curses in hidden places, but those words have no power. He says he has struck them down with the authority of heaven. He declares, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, for you are marked with the seal of God's protection. Michael explains that the enemy has tried to exhaust you through delays, setbacks, and disappointments. But he reminds you that the closer you get to breakthrough, the harder the enemy fights. He says this battle is the last wave before your victory. He says, stand firm. Do not surrender. What you are about to walk into will make sense of everything you have endured. Your mother's voice softens, filled with compassion. She says she has felt your loneliness, those moments when you wished for her presence, when you longed for her guidance. She says she wants you to know that her prayers have never stopped in heaven. She is still interceding for you, still speaking your name before God's throne. She says the love between a mother and child is eternal and that bond cannot be broken by death. She says even when you feel alone, you are surrounded by love. My love, heaven's love, and God's love that never fails. She encourages you to trust that every unanswered question, every sleepless night, every ache in your soul has been heard by the one who sees all. The Spirit of God speaks with calm authority. I am the God who redeems time. He says he knows how you feel the years slipping away, how you fear that too much time has been lost. But he promises that he can restore what was stolen, that he can make up for lost seasons in a single moment of blessing. He says, do not fear the ticking clock, for I am outside of time, and I hold your times in my hand. He assures you that you are not behind, that you are exactly where you need to be for the miracle that is unfolding. He says, when his moment arrives, everything will happen suddenly, and you will look back and wonder why you ever doubted. Your mother smiles gently, her words carrying hope. She says she knows you have felt weary of waiting, weary of fighting, weary of hoping. But she reminds you that endurance is not wasted. It is building strength you will need for the blessings ahead. She says, God is not cruel. He is not dangling promises just to tease you. He is shaping you so that when the blessing comes, you will be able to carry it well. She says she is proud of your strength, proud of your resilience, proud that you have not given up even when you wanted to. And she urges you to believe that the next chapter of your life will be better than anything you have yet known. Archangel Michael raises his sword once more and declares that new doors are opening for you. He says you will step into opportunities that were locked to you before. He says you will find favor with people who once overlooked you, and you will see paths appear where there was only blockage before. He warns you not to run through every door, for not every opportunity is divine. But he promises you will know the difference, for the door that is from God will bring peace, not pressure. He says, walk boldly when the right door opens. Do not hesitate, for the time will be short and the opportunity will be clear. The Spirit of God speaks again, this time with the sound of promise. I am preparing to surprise you with joy. He says, the heaviness you have carried will soon be replaced by laughter. The kind of laughter that comes from relief, from sudden blessing, from unexpected breakthroughs. He says, you will laugh again. You will rejoice again. And the sound of your joy will silence the voices of doubt around you. He assures you that his word never returns empty. And what he has promised you will not be delayed much longer. Your mother finishes this portion with one last plea. She tells you to stay open, to keep your faith alive, to refuse to let bitterness poison your heart. She says she knows how hard it is to forgive, but forgiveness is the key that unlocks the next season. She says, do not hold grudges, for they weigh down your spirit. Release them and you will rise higher. Release them and you will step more freely into what God has prepared. She promises that the moment you let go, you will feel heaven's hand lift you into a peace you have never known before. Your mother's voice deepens with a mixture of sorrow and strength, as though she knows the battles you still face. She says she has seen you struggle with questions that never leave your mind. Questions of why certain things happened, why certain prayers felt unanswered, why certain people left your life when you needed them most. She says she cannot erase the pain of those moments, but she can help you see the truth behind them. She tells you those losses were not punishment, they were preparation. She says God never takes without the intention to give greater. Every closed hand was meant to make room for his open hand. Every ending was the beginning of something you cannot yet see. She urges you to release your grip on the past so that your hands will be open to receive what is coming next. Archangel Michael speaks firmly, his voice like thunder echoing through eternity. He says, you are entering a time of separation, a season when the true will be divided from the false, when the loyal will be revealed and the deceivers exposed. He says, this is not to frighten you, but to free you. He declares, for too long shadows have lingered close, feeding off your light. But I, Michael, have been sent to drive them away. Soon you will stand in clarity, seeing with eyes sharpened by heaven. He says you will not need to fight every battle with your own strength, for angelic armies are surrounding you. He promises that even when you feel weary, they are wearing for you and no scheme of the enemy will succeed. Your mother's words soften again, filled with affection that seems to flow straight from heaven's heart. She says she is proud of the way you have carried yourself in silence, how you have chosen not to retaliate against those who hurt you, how you have chosen love when bitterness would have been easier. She says she knows the price you paid for that strength, and she assures you that heaven has recorded every sacrifice. She says God is not unjust. He sees, he knows, and he will repay. Every act of kindness that was ignored will return to you multiplied. Every injustice that seemed to go unpunished will be answered by his perfect timing. She says, you must keep your spirit tender, for tenderness is not weakness. It is proof that you belong to God. Then the Spirit of the Lord breaks through with words like rushing water. I am rewriting your story. He says you have been defined by failures, by betrayals, by the labels others placed on you. But he is erasing those words and replacing them with his truth. He says, you are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not broken. You are healed. You are not abandoned. You are beloved. He promises that what comes next will not look like what has been. And he warns you not to limit yourself by yesterday's wounds. He declares that he is making all things new. And the newness will overtake you quickly, suddenly, unexpectedly. Your mother smiles through tears of joy, as if she has already seen the miracle on the horizon. She says she has watched you battle discouragement, but she knows you will rise. She says, I prayed for you every day of my life, and now in eternity, I still whisper your name before the throne of God. Those prayers are alive, still working, still opening doors you cannot see. She reminds you that when she left this world, her love for you did not end. It only grew deeper. And she says she has asked God to let you feel her presence when you need it most so that you never forget that you are loved beyond measure. Archangel Michael raises his sword again and announces that financial provision is on its way. He says that for too long lack has weighed you down, making you question whether abundance was meant for you. But he declares that the heavens have released resources and they are being delivered into your hands. He warns you not to despise small beginnings, for even small breakthroughs are signs that larger ones are coming. He says, do not fear the numbers you see. Heaven's storehouses are larger than earthly banks, and your provision is already set aside. He promises you will not only have enough for yourself but will overflow to bless others. The Spirit of God speaks again. His tone tender yet filled with authority. I am restoring joy to you. He says he has seen the heaviness in your heart. The moments where laughter felt far away. But he promises that joy is returning. Not the shallow joy that fades but deep joy rooted in his presence. He says you will laugh again. You will sing again. You will breathe freely again. He assures you that this joy will not be dependent on circumstances but will flow like a river inside you, unshaken by storms. He promises that the coming months will bring moments of surprise where his goodness will break through your ordinary days and remind you of his love.